Hey, welcome back to Placed on the 55 with John and Jess. It's the start of Week 9 in the CFL regular season, and Jess and I are back with our picks for this week. I'm away on holidays right now, so this week's going to be a bit of an abbreviated episode. Jess, how did you do last week for Week 8?
Last week, holy crap, that was pretty embarrassing. I got my ass handed to me like I never really expected. I went 0 for 4 last week, so I lost every single game. It's a reminder, listeners, that after last week's doubleheader on Friday, I was at 15 wins and 11 losses on the season. And since then, I dropped the last 2 games of last week and then went on a losing streak that is, now has me sitting at 15 and 17 on the season after losing 6 games in a row. I can't believe it.
Well, you and the West Division both share an interesting stat. Everybody in the West right now is on a losing streak. You're currently 6 straight. Last week, I went 3-1, so I did pretty well. The game that I lost was the game that I agreed with you on. For the season, puts me kind of respectable again. Yeah, I improved from 13 and 15, and now sitting dead even, 16-16.
Yeah, right out. So you're back at 500. That's what I thought. Now I find myself sitting 2 games below 500, which is super embarrassing since I'm trying to strive to be at 650. But it is a CFL. Things can bounce around, and it is still a long season left, even though we're going into the August long weekend. How fast did that happen? Jeez.
Let's jump right into it, Jess.
Yeah, so going into Week 9, our spreads are courtesy of Easy Edna's Resort, Casino, and Hotel, located lakeside in Windsor, Ontario. From fully air-conditioned rooms to a 50,000 square foot air-conditioned gaming floor, an indoor swimming pool, indoor spa, and indoor gym, Edna has made it sure that you will never have to go outside and walk around Windsor. So for your next vacation, be it a stag party with the guys or a getaway with the family, check out Easy Edna's Resort, Hotel, and Casino. Going into Week 9, on Thursday, the Lions are favored by 3.5 points at Winnipeg. BC is just coming off a bye week, and the Bombers haven't looked that great. I thought the Bombers were going to sink the boatman big time last week in Ontario, and they didn't even come close. I like BC to cover the 3.5 points in Winnipeg.
Yeah, BC's looking great. They've got the most points for in the league presently, 206. Winnipeg's got some big problems, but they also have Brady Oliveira, and he's a machine. I think BC wins, but I don't think they cover, so I'm going to put my money on Winnipeg.
Then into Friday Night Football, Montreal's also 3.5 point favorites on the road in Hamilton, and I'm liking the road team again in this one. I still think Montreal's coming out of the East to go to the Grey Cup. I've been saying that since Week 1. The Owls need to blow through teams like Hamilton to get there, and I think they will when they meet and beat them more by than 3.5 points.
Cody Fajardo is out?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Although the Cats may have somewhat of a chance, I think Montreal's too good. So I'm going to go Montreal and agree with you on that one.
Okay, now am I correct in thinking that you have lost every single bet all season that you have made either for or against the Tabbies all season long?
I have, every single time. It doesn't matter what I pick.
Oh, no, I know you're agreeing with me on this game. I'm poisoned.
I know. I agreed with you last week on that Tabbies game, and I told you should just pick the opposite of me. Because, yeah, I'm 0-7 on every bet I've made against for the Tabbies. It doesn't matter. The Tabbies are screwing me.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do. You know, it's almost as hard going 0-4 for the week.
No. Yeah, good little poke there, John. Game 3, we got Edmonton is 4.5 point underdogs at Saskatchewan. So they got 4.5 points free going into Taylor Field. And man, if those Elks play Trey Ford again, if he did what he did last week at the very end of into the fourth quarter, I'm going to take Edmonton again like I did last week. And it didn't work out for me last week, but the Elks, like I said, have to finally get it together at some point. I think they're going to get it together in Week 9 of the CFL, and I'll take the 4.5 free points to start the game with.
As I heard in the coverage yesterday, I think the Elks are going to go 2-boo and lose this game. The Elks are on a 7-game losing streak, about to push that to 8, and the Rough Riders, they're only on a 1-game losing streak. I think the Rough Riders are mediocre, perhaps, but they're going to beat the Elks. The Elks just seem like a complete dumpster fire. I don't know what's going on with their kicker. They may as well put the center.
I know. He missed I think at least 3 field goals last week, and then remember 2 weeks ago at the very end of the game, like with 10 seconds left, he booted a kickoff out of bounds, which in the CFL is a penalty, and they got the ball back on the Ottawa's got the ball back on the 50, and then threw a pass down and got down there in the 35-yard line, kicked a field goal and won. And if he didn't miss 3 goddamn field goals last week, the Elks wouldn't have lost that game either.
Yeah, they lost by 16 points. And then he had a 3-yard onside kick, which...
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, he messed up that as well. Like, it didn't even come off the tee. He, like, topped it or something. It's like if you're a golfer and you're on the tee box and you hit the top of the golf ball and it just, like, dribbles 40 yards. And we're like, yeah, no, you got to get underneath the ball. And he didn't even come close.
I think Rough Riders are going to go 6-3. That takes us to game 4. Next week, we might see Kelly come back. Are we potentially seeing the last game with Toronto uncertain at the quarterback position?
Yeah, possibly. I wanted to double check that, and I apologize that I haven't. Like, as far as like it was 9 weeks of the season, or is that 9 Argo games? Because they've already had like at least one bye. So is he going to sit out till like week 10 or 11? Still, I think there's still kind of a cloud over that situation where the Argos might decide that they want to suspend him a little bit further.
What do you think for this game then? We got Argos and Calgary. Calgary, ugly last week.
Mm-hmm. I felt bad for Dave Dickinson.
For some strange reason, I think looking at the standings going into week 10, both teams are going to be 4-4. So that means Calgary wins. So I'll go Calgary.
I kind of agree. I think Calgary's going to turn it around. No, it's kind of more fun if we are all, pick against each other and so forth. But we're not talking about our picks beforehand. We just call them as we try to see them.
That's right. And we're here to make money. So we're trying to pick the best picks we can. We don't have a whole lot of other news. No mail, no comments. Remember, if you want to write the show, you can at placedonthe55pod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us this week. And we'll be back next week to go another 110 yards. Talk to you later, Jess.
You got it, John.